Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Um, this is our month's coaching call and a masterclass, I want to say, a workshop with Angie Bergen. And she's here to talk to us how we can get creative with what she does. And she's going to tell us all about it. Thank you so much, Angie, for accepting to be with us today.
Thank you, Sarah.
Angie is also an insider, so I'm really excited about it. I really want to showcase all my insiders, and I really want to give everyone a platform where you can share what you do. Angie also wrote an awesome article for the magazine. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So go check it out if you haven't yet. And let's learn a little bit more about Angie. So, Angie, tell us a little bit about you.
All right. Well, I'm just going to tell you kind of a bit about how I got here. So, a few years ago, you looked at my life. It looked fine from the outside, but inside, I was felt like I was like slowly dying. Except at that time, I didn't really know that. I just knew that I was meant for something more. And then at the age of 54, I decided to divorce. So I left my marriage and had to start life on my own. It it wasn't easy. I thought that was going to be the hard part, but the hard part was like, how do I start my life over at 54? And truly, I didn't know. I just knew I had to get out of that marriage. I found a house. I moved out. I had to get a job after 24 years, and I just slowly started rebuilding. It was messy. It was slow. And I've always been a people pleaser. I did what everybody wanted me to do. I like my family, my parents, my husband at the time. So now, fast forward some years, both my parents have passed away. My kids are grown, they're on their own, and I decided to divorce. And then I felt lost because I've always taken care of everybody and I didn't know what to do. And people said, well, now it's time for you to take care of yourself. But I thought, what the hell does that even mean? Because I had never really done that. I didn't know. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what foods I liked, what I wanted to do with my life, or even, like I said, how to start over. So I just slowly started putting one foot in front of the other. As I started healing, I guess more emotionally, I started doing things that felt good to me. So journaling, a gratitude practice, affirmations, and uh, with the journaling, I did the uh, future journaling.
Mm,
So it was how I wanted, or the woman that I wanted to become. So every day I would, fill out this page and do the thing. And then I had this idea. Uh, oh, go back a little bit. I decided to become a health coach. So I got certified with that. I did that for a few years. And then I started noticing women in their 40s, 50s, 60s going through the same thing that I did. So whether a divorce, loss of a spouse, just feeling stuck in their life, some sort of tragedy happened and not knowing what to do. And that's when I had the idea to create something that for other women that I had used for myself. But I have no idea how to do that. But so it was a thought, and that thought stuck there for like 18 months. And then I finally decided, well, I need to do something about it. So I just started putting notes, like in my notes app, of things that I did and what worked and what didn't. And then when I finally decided to do it, I still didn't know how to do it. So took a step. I found a template that had a lot of the stuff that I wanted in it. So, or the structure that I wanted. So I was able to put my notes in there. And so I created it as an interactive journal, and then it's a 90-day planner journal.
nice.
So you have all these questions that it asks, and you can go through and do the whole entire process. And then there was 90 days of writing out your future self. And so I got the template, and that was the beginning of, I guess, my creative journey, I guess I could say. So, and it was just a PDF. And then I wanted to get it as a book to sell on Amazon, but again, had no idea how to do that. So I found another course. And it's interesting how things show up when you need it, right?
Yep. I
So
agree.
I found a course on how to, create a pro or create a book on Amazon. So I did that. Still took me a little bit of time to put that all together, but then November of 2022, my book was finally uh, published. I'll show it to you,
Yes.
and it's called Creating Your Future Self, and it's a 90-day journal. So you'll be surprised what you can change in 90 days.
Yeah, I agree with you. Um, and you know, that's it's so funny. That's you are the person I created Life Mastery Circle for. It's the
Oh,
woman that's going through the change and is feeling lost. You know, like I wanted something like that when I decided that I wanted to come home. I had my husband's support, and I
mm-hmm.
wanted to stop working. I wanted to come home, and I wanted to start a business. I've always been entrepreneur. Like I always had side hustles and all the things, and I really wanted to do something that would light me up. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Something I knew that I was meant to do something else. I just didn't know what it was. And we actually met on a course we did together, right?
Right,
A
right.
few years ago. And and it wasn't cheap, and then everything that was out there was really pricey, really expensive, and I just
Mm-hmm.
left my job. Can you imagine coming home after working for 30 plus years, and suddenly you're not making an income and you are spending all this money on courses? That was very hard for me. And I remember that when I came home, I I wouldn't even allow myself to go on a walk every single day while my husband was at work, because I felt that I needed to be working because I
Oh,
didn't have any self-worth, right?
yeah, yeah.
So I totally understand where you're coming with from with what you're saying. It's so strange how us women, especially women, because my husband has no problem whatsoever taking a day off and going about his business, do
Right.
whatever he wants. I could not do that. It's incredible.
Well, I think we were taught to put everybody else first, and then we go on to the back burner. You have to take care of the husband, the family, the parents, the whatever. If you have a job, you're taking care of, that stuff. So I think that's been a big societal sort of thing also, that the woman doesn't really get to do her thing. And not in all cases, but I think looking at myself, just, from what my mom did and what her mom did, that sort of thing, you take care of everybody else. And a big part of mine too, I found recently, is that I don't want to die with my dreams still inside of me. I could get all emotional here. My mom, actually, both my mom and dad passed away at 87, and neither of them fulfilled their dreams. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to look back and have all this regret because I was too afraid to step out. And I was afraid what my parents would say or my siblings would say. Or, I had all this self talk that, who are you to write a book, or who are you to help other women? It's just
Yeah.
like, I don't know. And sometimes it's scary, but I think like you just have to put one step in front of the other, or one foot in front of the other. And it could be a teeny tiny little step. It doesn't have to be something grandiose. And slowly things like start falling into place.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yes, and congratulations on doing that, because I also have that in my family. Like people are just, the other day I was talking to someone and I was saying, like I love my life. I absolutely love my life. I do all the things I want to do and more than that. And I was, somebody who is like has a very high position in the firm she works. And I said, "Hey, how's work? Are you happy?" And she says, well, it's work, we have to work and to have stuff. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I felt, I kind of sent her unconditional love at that moment. And I thought, oh my gosh, how sad is it to think of life that way and to live your life that way? I'd rather not have the stuff if that wasn't the job I wanted, right? I want the stuff, don't get me wrong. I want to make a
Right.
lot of money, but I also want to be happy and to like you said, die at least knowing I was doing everything I could to fulfill my dreams and to go after
Right.
what I want, right?
Right. Because I think that's the biggest thing is the regret, right? When you get to that point. Now, none of us know how much time we have, but I don't want to wait another 5 or 10 years. I've actually waited a lot of my life to start doing what I wanted to do because I was too focused on everybody else and what would people think about me. And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Thank you so
it's been a
much.
journey.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. Yes, that's very important and it's so relatable. And a lot of women who are even in this membership, they don't even want to say it out loud because they are afraid of what other people are going to think of
Right?
them if they say it out loud. So thank you so much for saying it. And let's get into our creativity now.
All right. So, creativity really isn't just about singing or dancing or drawing, which is what I used to think that it was. I'm like, oh, I'm not creative. I can't draw a circle. I can barely draw stick people. Um, and I've realized there's all kinds of other ways to be creative.
Yep.
Um, so like I said, I created my, oh my gosh, my workbook, interactive workbook. I couldn't get that out. And then I got two things. So creating your future self, 108 seeds of strength affirmation book. And then I wanted to have a journal to go with that. So, had you told me a few years ago that I was going to be creating books, I would have told you, you were crazy. But I had so much fun doing my first one that I created all kinds of other things to put up on Amazon for women. And my affirmation book was my latest. So that one popped into my head and I had it finished and uploaded on Amazon for sale in 3 weeks. So
Amazing. Congratulations.
yeah, it's like
I'm a
Canva is
KDP person and I love everything KDP and I love
yeah,
everything Amazon.
Canva has become that's my creative outlet. Sometimes I go in and I just create all kinds of weird things. I don't know, and I save them because you never know. One day, um, I might use it. Actually, with the this I created or the cover, I had created that. I don't know last year, maybe it was even before. Just with AI, I started piddling with AI, and I everything is kind of beachy, and that's my brand
Mhm.
colors and kind of look. And so when I was what can I do for a cover? That's what popped up when I was looking through. I'm like, oh, I could totally use this. So, but today I want to talk to about journaling and creativity. Uh, so, like I said, creativity isn't just about drawing or singing or dancing, but it can be how we solve problems, how we reimagine our lives, and how we give voice to what's on the inside of us. I don't know if you ladies journal. I think too in the beginning, I thought journaling was just more, well, I shouldn't say I thought. I use journaling as a bitch session, really,
Love it.
to complain about everything in my life. But like after I divorced, I found out it was something different. I started just doing like creative or free flow writing. And it was so interesting just the information that popped out from that. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was inside of me. you know.
Yeah.
So, and journaling is a safe place, to experiment, to reimagine your life, and really to create without any rules. So, these are why journaling sparks creativity.
Mhm.
So, it gives you freedom. The page doesn't judge you. You can write whatever you want. It could be messy, it could be silly, it could be profound, and it's not for anybody else. It's just for your own knowledge or safe place. And you can use journals in all kinds of different ways. So you can just put words in there. You can doodle. I know somebody that does just a lot of doodling along with her writing. And I've tried that. It takes a little bit more effort, so I don't always do the doodling part. But people have made mind maps, they've made lists, and you can count all of that as creativity. And then we've got discovery. So oftentimes, like I said before, you write things down and you don't even realize that it was inside of you until it is on paper. So it can be very thought provoking, I feel. And so journaling is where the what if. So there's a lot of possibility, and that can become your playground. So here are a few journaling exercises you might be interested in. So when you get out your journal, these are just some unfinished sentences to help you get started. I know sometimes people don't journal and don't know what they should
Yeah.
journal about.
Mm-hmm. I am not a very, I'm not. I want to be the person that journals every single day. I don't, but there comes a day, that because for me it's hard to start. Even the
Mm-hmm.
free flow, like you were talking, I find that amazing, and I'm gonna give it another try. But it's hard to start. So I talk to myself like I'm constantly talking things into.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times with my free flow writing, I don't have an idea, but I'm like, this is what's bothering me
Yeah.
today. And unfortunately, it might start out kind of as a bitch session or a complaint session. But then as I start writing, uh, is it Julia Cameron has the book that, is it the writer's,
The artist's way.
the artist's way? Yeah, not the writer's way. But she's, does like 3 pages. I did that years ago, 3 pages every day. For me, that's a lot. So sometimes I'll just start and like I'll just journal a little bit and it ends up being 3 or 4 pages. But
Yeah.
I don't think you should force it. Just, whatever comes out. And I'm kind of the same as you, Sarah. I don't journal every day. I would like to, but every few days or something, I just feel like that's what I need to do. So I kind of follow that intuition. So here's a few unfinished sentences that might help you. Uh, so I feel most alive when, there's another one. If I weren't afraid, I would,
Oh, nice. The
one thing,
possibility.
yeah, one thing my future self wants me to know is, and then you can use it as an alter ego. So write a page from the perspective of your boldest, most adventurous self. How does she see the world?
Nice.
And I've done this one too, kind of as mind mapping, and I've done uh, kind of a manifestation. So with the mind mapping, you put circle in the middle and it could be your creativity. And then, what are the things that you want to do on the outside? Just draw lines and circles and just go with whatever comes to you. Because like I said, this is for you. And even dreaming, that's what in my creating your future self workbook, this is about you and what do you want. It's, don't look, well, that's not possible. If you want it, write it down. If you want to travel to Paris and fly first class, write it down. You just want to expand. And I think that makes a big difference. But with the manifestation, I did 1 page on, I drew myself in the middle and how I looked. And of course, they were stick people,
Yeah, of course.
but just what is in my life there. And on the other page, then I drew what my future self looks like. I was still a stick person, but I was traveling. Um, you know, flying an air, not flying my own airplane, but, traveling, upgraded, uh, what else? Making more money, living in a nice house, my house, or even the house that I have, it's totally remodeled. So those are just kind of fun things that you can do. And again, it's just for you. And what's interesting, mine was to travel, and uh, I'm not, I was going to say I was lucky, but no, I manifested these trips. I went to Scotland and then went to Paris for the Olympics last year. This past May, I went to Bali. I mean, a few years ago, had you know, told me, oh, I was going to do that, I'm like, no, I can't afford that. But when I made that decision, and those were things that are on, I guess my board,
Yeah.
um, doing that, the universe just kind of makes that happen. What do they call it? You're reticulating, wait, RAS, reticular activating system. So when you start thinking about things, it's like, this is a good, for instance, you want to buy a car and you want a yellow car. All of a sudden, you'll start seeing yellow cars all over the road, where before you never saw any yellow cars.
Yeah.
So when you start putting those affirmations or those dreams, into your journaling, then the universe is signaling that this is what we want. And so those things slowly start coming to you.
It's no wonder we are both in the same groups.
I know, how many groups are we in together? Four? Like,
About.
yeah, that's kind of funny. So, see your journaling as a fun playtime and not as homework or something that you have to do. Because when you have those have tos, it's not going to make it fun.
It kills the
Just, I want
creativity,
to
right?
journal.
It kills it.
Right, right.
I
Oh,
agree.
for sure. So your journal can be your canvas, your stage, your playground. It's not about writing perfectly, and it's about letting your soul express in new and creative ways.
Yes.
So
That's
I hope you all journal. Give it a try.
that's amazing. And thank you so much for giving us these prompts. I think they are really, really creative. They really get us thinking. And I also feel that we don't do that enough. We don't dream,
Oh, yeah.
right?
No, I think that's true. I have to say, I was never really modeled to dream growing up. Like I said, both my parents, for instance, my dad wanted to be a minister, but he couldn't go to seminary because he had to stay home on the farm. So this was back, during the Depression. And then he had a family and then he had to work. So he never really lived out his dream. Um, and it was kind of the same with my mom. And I don't know so much my dad was regretful, but my mom was. So she was kind of angry about life towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I don't want to do that. And I don't want that for you. And I don't want that for any of you ladies. That, it's not worth it. Go after those things that you want.
Yeah. What I find is everybody tells me, like when I'm talking to someone about, are you living your best life? And they just look at me like, I'm from another planet and like, I can't afford to do that. But I think, I don't know who said it, but somebody said that the majority of people think or wish for like a lot of money that they need to live, and they settle for a lot less than they could get.
Right.
And I think that when I ask people, are you living your best life? And they tell me, I can't afford to do that. We always think that living our best life involves Lamborghinis and flying first class somewhere. That's
Right.
not at all what I'm talking
No.
about, you know? I'm
Right.
talking about the everyday. Are
Yeah.
you are you living life? Are you joyful? Like, for
Right.
me, I always struggled a lot with laundry. I had three little kids when I
Yeah.
was 30 years old, and there was piles and piles of laundry. My dream was to just go out and buy new clothes so that I
Every
wouldn't
week.
have to do laundry. Until I started thinking, okay, so my kids are going to be happy that they have nice, clean clothes to
Right.
go to school. I will be happy because they'll look nice,
Hmm.
everything. And I started to see things a little different. Did it magically make that my laundry was done every single week? Well, probably not, but half of it would be, and that would be enough. And, I kind of made do. But what I want to say is, it's the way we look at things. and
Right.
and if we look at our life, the life we have right now, like I'm very big in gratitude. I'm very grateful always for what I have every single day. I'm so grateful for this life, but I still want more.
Right.
There's
Right.
nothing wrong with that.
Right. And you can be grateful for what you have and still want way more.
Yes, but like I didn't grow up with that.
Right.
Just be grateful for what you have and don't ask for more. Like, just be grateful.
Yeah.
And so I think we kind of go there, and then we start to see other people's lives, and we think, well, I can't afford to do this. I can't afford to do that. But that's not the ideal life. Like, what if I'm being very, very honest right now, if I had a lot more money, I honestly don't know that my life would change that much. Yes,
Hmm.
I would have the house paid. I would have everything would be
Right.
like paid for, and I would have money stashed away somewhere, invested somewhere. But other than that, I love what I do. I
Yeah.
I want to keep doing that.
When I think there's 2 points, what you said, one is I can't afford that. So the universe is going to give you that. I can't afford that.
Yes.
So what we think about, what you focus on is what you get. And I think that starting with the dreaming, you start doing that. I had no idea how I was going to pay for this trip when we went to Scotland and to Paris. I was actually I was pretty freaked out about doing it. But once I made the decision and got excited about it, I don't know, the money just kind of showed up. It was like the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Um, and what was the other point? Oh, people think that having money is going to make your life better. If you're unhappy being where you're at now, you're not going to be happy with a lot of money. You
Yeah.
know, you have to,
That's so true. But we fail to see that. Then,
right,
I understand when people say, "Oh, yes, it's somebody who has a lot of money," but I listen to a lot of people, and I went to London 2 years ago. I have a group from where the same coaching that where we met, both
right,
of
right.
uh, and we meet in London like once a year, and we do something fun. And we went to a business weekend there, a business event,
Mhm.
and we met Steve Bartlett and Marie Forleo and all of that. And
Oh,
Steve Bartlett, he's 30. He has a very successful podcast.
mhm.
It's the CEO, I don't know the name. Anyway, he's English, and the other day I saw an interview with him, and he's a multimillionaire, and they asked him, "So you have everything? So what is that one thing that you would change, or that if you could?" And he said, "I'm so happy in my relationship that I honestly would give up anything to just keep being in that relationship because I'm so happy. I'm so grounded. I'm so," and people think, "Oh, yeah, because he has millions." But exactly because he has the millions, he can compare, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and we don't have that perspective because we don't have the millions. So
Correct.
it's so if we can have some perspective from where we're standing, I
Yeah.
think we're already there, like, oh my
Right.
gosh.
No, I agree. And I think that big part of it too is just being happy where you are. Yeah, you just said you love your life, but you want more, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it is the little things. So, for example, and I think this is creativity as well. I also do my self-image script and I think about, what I want, the life I want, who I want to be, who I
Right.
want to become, all the things. And one day, 2 years ago, I I stopped working 3 years ago. So I do this full time for 3 years now.
Right.
And 2 years ago, on a Tuesday afternoon, it was like June. I live on a small island, and I
Mhm.
was coming home from grocery shopping, and I'd done a little bit of shopping on the side. And suddenly, I almost hit the brakes in my car in the middle of the road. And I thought, oh my God, I'm living the life I dreamed of. It's Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
I just went grocery shopping. I have a little sports car that I love.
Right.
I live on an island. I'm going home. I have no one that is, asking me for anything that, I can do whatever I want.
Right.
And I thought, oh, I'm living my best life. I'm living the life I wanted. And
Isn't that fun when that happens? I've had that happen a couple of times. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, this was in my self-image script, and this is what's happening now.
right? But we are so busy with the next thing and the next thing because when we don't have that gratitude that you talked about,
Right.
that happens. We just want to keep going and keep going and keep
Right.
going. And we don't even realize that we wanted this life.
Okay.
It's amazing.
I agree.
I really think that and if anything can if anybody can take any takeaways from this conversation today, I think it's, dream more and be grateful for where you are and be just, put some creativity in your life, whatever it looks like.
Yeah. Well, creativity could even be, I just popped in my head that, rearranging your furniture, putting up pictures in a different place. And so
Yeah,
it's not about, the drawing or the singing, that sort of thing. It's
e-
whatever you make it.
exactly. It's exactly that. And I don't know. I sometimes am creative in the kitchen. That's just where I go that day.
Yeah.
And other days, it is the journaling and the writing because I think that, or at least the thinking about it, because when I start to think about my life and what I really want to accomplish and all the things that I have going on around me, um, especially on my walks, I walk every day, like for an hour, and I get so creative during my walk. It's when all my best ideas come to me. It's, I'm outside. I have the ocean all around me and it's really like my time.
Right.
And I feel, yeah, that's like that my most creative time is when I'm outside in nature or just by myself, preferably without anybody speaking or singing in my ears. Which I do all the time. But
Right.
sometimes I think, no, 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 just no. And so I just walk, and then I start thinking all these thoughts come to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do this, I can do that. Oh, look what I'm doing today! It's amazing, you know. And then what I feel, I have a lot of joy in my life, but it's it's um it's an effort also that I make. I decided that I want to have a joyful life, so that's what I'm always looking for and searching for. And I want to have joy and to bring joy into other people's lives. So I'm positive, and I'm, yeah, and that is creative for me because I'm always thinking, what else can I do? how can I reach out to somebody, with this crazy idea? But what else can I do? How can I support them? How can I? And that's why I love the magazine, and that's why I love the membership, is because I really get to experiment and to ask people, hey, how can I support you? What can I do? What do you need? Like, like that's just what I'd love to do every day of my life.
Well, I just want to say I think the membership is wonderful because I think there's so many midlife women too that don't have the support. You might not have it from your spouse or from work, or, it's just a nice place to come to have women of like mind,
Yeah.
um, to be able to have some support and some teaching, some learning, something new that you might not have thought about.
Thanks for saying that. Yes, and that's exactly it. When I also created this, was everything was so out of reach price wise, and
Right.
you know we don't many people don't even know what coaching is, or many people are not comfortable with it yet, and it's online, and do I really know that person? I understand all of this, and that's why I have like the business part, and I have the non-business part, because this is for every woman that is seeking support in any area, if they
Yeah.
have a business or not. Of course, I have always a lot of businessy stuff going on, and starting September, a lot of more things are coming. So I'm really excited about that. But I also want the everyday woman that just doesn't even know how to start journaling. Like you said, how the hell am I going to take care of myself? What the hell does that mean? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I want them to have the space where they know that we're all going through the same thing, and some of us have just gotten out of where they are, and we can support them through that phase. And I think that's really important. That's really what I want to achieve with this.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for saying that.
That's great. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for coming and speaking to us today. I
Oh, you're
really
welcome. Thank you
enjoyed
for
this.
having me.
Of course, anytime. So thank you so much. And I'm going to post again all of Angie's info with this video and in your Life Mastery Hub, so you can go and check it out. The video will be there. And if you want to reach out to Angie, I'll leave her contact as well. And I think that's it. That's all we have today. Thank you so much, Angie, for
Thank
coming
you.
and speaking to us again. And I'll see you all around. Don't forget to reach out and ask if you need any support. Thank you.